Hello everyone, welcome back. I am Interact. This is more Dead Cells. So I think as of the recording of this episode, guess I'll take the inventory bill. They put out a small update, which I think added a few things. Let me try and, hold on. I'm pretty sure it came to beta branch. Let me pull it up really quickly. Just to make sure. I believe it was the Foundry update. Here we go. So custom difficulty, you can add a challenge with boss source cells at the beginning of the game. The Foundry opens its doors. I guess the blacksmith upgrades weapons with cells? I'm not sure. And then something about mutations. And then a bunch of UI changes, bug fixes, etc, etc, etc. So I'll see if I can find any of that in these episodes. If I can actually climb up. See if we can find any of that stuff going on in here. Do I want this over the Spiteful Sword? I kind of like the Spiteful Sword better. Not for its effects, just for its animations and whatnot. That little kick. So, I don't know where the Foundry is exactly. Let me actually pull up my map really quickly so that I can know where it is that I'm going. I want to go probably back to the graveyard. Do I want to go to the graveyard? Probably, yeah. So we will endeavor to get to the graveyard, which does go through toxic sewers, but we would like to get some more cells and equipment. And maybe even beat one of these things for once in my miserable career playing this game. Not miserable in the sense of I've been miserable doing it, miserable in the sense of I've never beaten one of these things. And I never will at this. Okay, I actually somehow. Yeah, so I never will beat one of those. I honestly have no idea what's even behind those. This is awful. So I would like to update to Alpha Branch, but apparently it has like a whole lot of, like a whole mess of bugs. So I'll wait on that, I guess. Force Shield is actually pretty good. Not a big fan of the infantry bow anyways. There's a, oh no, this is just still part of the, there is a shop up here though. Okay. I kind of like what I have, so I think I'm gonna not bother with re-rolling it just yet. I may want to get the Hunter's Grenade, although getting past the Watcher with a Hunter's Grenade in my inventory might prove to be slightly difficult, considering I'm not exactly the best of this game still. Oh, yeah, especially if I take damage like that. So there's an ice grenade over there. Excuse me, hold on. Had something stuck in my throat. Had to mute the mic because I assume no one wants to hear me choke on something in my throat. Just like a little tickle. So we're gonna go to the toxic sewers as much as I hate it. Take a little sip of water. Probably could have done that in the middle of this animation. Hello, collector. Still don't know what merchandise category is. Maybe you get to pick what kind of merchant you get? I don't know, I'm gonna work on the extra thing. Into the toxic sewers we go. So while we're doing this, I guess we might as well just talk about some random stuff, right? What was your favorite class in school? In like high school or college, or wherever you may be? Because I think in high school my favorite class was physics. Because I had a really good teacher. And in addition to that, I was pretty good at it. I think I was like decently smart in high school. You know, I didn't get like straight A's or anything, but I knew what I was doing in most classes, you know. I know it's kind of a cliche at this point, but I was just kind of like the person who was smart and didn't really apply myself because I'm lazy. So I think a lot of teachers, you know, didn't really like that because it's just kind of how they are. That was a beautiful parry, by the way. But he was a pretty cool guy. We had computers at my high school, like laptops that everyone got. And people had found out how to put games on them. So we would play like a lot of Call of Duty. And I think he was one of the teachers that we actually convinced to play Call of Duty with us. Which, you know, probably, in all honesty, I'm shocked he didn't get fired if they found out. Yeah, he was a cool guy. Probably one of my favorite teachers. Not just because he played Call of Duty, but he was also just really good at his job. I think I'll take the 1 point in tactics now. And then I think in college, man, I had a, listen to this, right? So I had a class called, it was an elective. It was just like one of those, you know, kind of blow-off classes. It was, what was it called? History of Rock and Roll, I think. So I'm sure you can wager a guess as to what exactly that class was. But yeah, it was pretty much a blow-off class. It was good though. The teacher was like, I'm pretty sure he was part of the music department. So he was like really into music. And it was basically like, I don't know, I grew up listening to a lot of music, including a lot of like classic rock type stuff. Like, you know, typical stuff like Zeppelin, all that, all the classic, which is, I guess, dad rock at this point. But I kind of grew up listening to that kind of stuff. So I was in the band at one point. And you know how band kids are with their music. So I actually didn't have to study like at all for that class because it was like an intro level class. It's like a 100 level class, so it was super easy. I knew everything, so I literally just showed up and answered things on the test. And the test was like, you know, what was the extremely popular band that started the British invasion? Obviously the Beatles. That's the question that basically anyone can answer, right? It's not like a difficult question. And there was some people in that class who didn't seem like they were all there. You know, because they didn't know these kinds of things that I know, and obviously if I know them, everyone should know them, right? But no, I don't know. There are people that I think like got D's in that class, and I actually don't know how, because like how do you get a D in that class? I don't know. My college experience was interesting. My least favorite class was art history. Man, art history is actually the most boring class in existence. There actually is no more, there isn't a more boring class than art history. So what I did during art history class was I just played WoW on my laptop. Needless to say, I absolutely failed that class. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the professor hated me as well, because I'm pretty sure she knew that I was never paying attention in class. Yeah, I went to a college with a pretty dumb rule, though. They have, like, mandatory attendance. Most colleges do not have mandatory attendance, because they understand that, like, it's college and they just don't really care. But my school did, so I actually had to go to every class. So I would go to class, but they, you know, they can't force you to, like, pay attention, so I would just play WoW. Or, like, StarCraft 2. StarCraft 2 had, like, just come out and was pretty big. Play League of Legends occasionally. All the big stuff at the time. Ooh. Yeah, it was an interesting time. Didn't really actually learn too much. I mean, I learned a lot about art, not art history, because I absolutely did not pay attention in that class. There could be more stuff down there, but I don't really care. We're just gonna continue onwards. And man, art history, it was like decently early in the morning. It wasn't like I had an 8 AM Spanish class. That class was interesting because basically no one was awake for it. It was Spanish, which is not exactly the most exciting of classes. I think art history was like at 10 or 11 in the morning. So still pretty early by college standards. And it was in this big, like, this big auditorium for some reason. I have no idea why. And it was super dark. So everyone would just, like, be constantly falling asleep. Because art history is, I mean, listen, if you're like an art history major, I apologize. Art history is super boring to begin with. So the fact that we were doing art history in this giant, like, just dimly lit auditorium in these like decently comfortable plush chairs. Whoever decided to put art history in that room should probably get fired, because it was a horrible idea. Yeah, I flunked out of that class. Needless to say. I was in a pretty small program, so I was with, like, pretty much all the same people all the time. It was interesting. Another interesting class was, drawing. Because we would have nude models pretty much every few classes, I think. Which was, you know, interesting the first few times, if you're not used to that kind of thing, which I was definitely not. So that took a little bit of getting used to. And the even weirder part was that I guess I think normally they just like put ads in the paper or something for nude models. I guess we take 2 biter swarms here. Because this one does extra damage to a poison and the other one poisons. There you go. They typically put like ads in the paper or something, I think. And they'll get paid, you know, like I don't know. I don't know the actual number, but it's like, you know, $50 for like an hour's work or something, which is, you know, it's decent. But I think that they just recruited kids who actually went to school there, which made it like especially awkward because it was people that went to school there. I think I'm gonna pass up the other one for this. So it was like people that you would see around campus because it was a decently small college. Which was a little awkward, you know? Be like, yeah, I've seen that guy naked. Don't worry about it, though. It was for class. I don't know, nude modeling, it's it can be uncomfortable if you make it uncomfortable, I guess. Like, I'm sure for some people it was less uncomfortable, but I don't know, it was still an interesting experience, to say the least. I mean, if you're really into art, like, you kind of have to do it. It's just kind of a requirement of, like, you know, learning the human figure is kind of a requirement of art. Because it is integral to a lot of art, unless you're doing, like, abstract stuff. And even then, you need fundamentals. Is the theory behind making you take everything from, like, sculpture to graphic design to art history to drawing to photography, etc., etc., etc. Sculpture I was awful at. I'm terrible with 3D stuff. Failed that class as well, pretty handily. I'm more of like a drawing, graphic design, more on the abstract side type deal. Do I want tactics or survival? I think I want survival. And the affixes on that weren't like super relevant. And then we had to like learn how to make a portfolio and stuff. It was an interesting time. Plus I was going through a bunch of like depression and stuff. Which was also extremely fun. Fun times all around. Thankfully though, obviously I had a bunch of friends that I went to high school with and we like still kept in touch online to play StarCraft and Warcraft and stuff. And also thankfully I knew a few kids who went to school there, so I at least like had a base of friends to kind of hang out with, even though we were in different programs. I could at least be like, oh yeah, well I know them, and if I need to like hang out with someone, I can just go hang out with them, right? And being in a small program, like the small art program that I was in, was also pretty decent because it wasn't like, you know, there's a million people, like who do I talk to? There was like maybe a dozen kids in the program. Shots Pierce is decent, but I don't really like the ice bow. Making a decent amount of gold on this run. Yeah, I mean, if you're interested in doing art, I don't know how I feel about it. And obviously I wouldn't say that you should really take my word for anything, because that's an insanely good sword. Because, as I've said before, I did drop out of school. Do I need another bow? I feel like the bow I have is fine. So I wouldn't exactly, you know, take my word for anything, but having like a good base of multiple disciplines is good. Like I know that there was one girl who wanted to be there for photography, and she was good at photography, obviously, but she didn't really know how to do much else, which wasn't great because they do, unless you can somehow get into like a super specialized program, they do kind of want you to have a basis in everything, like drawing, photography, graphic design, even some like videography, possibly, if that is even the correct word for that. You know, painting, sculpture. So they do want you to have like a decent base and everything, because it does help to know how to kind of do everything. Especially with something like art, where it's like, I don't really know what you do with an art degree, honestly. I guess you make art, but I think I was planning on doing graphic design and probably going into advertising was my plan. Do I really want a curse chest? I could cheese it pretty easily. I might as well. Oh boy. Spiked boots. No thank you. Take the gold and the scroll of power, though. Great. What a lovely area to have just after getting a curse. There's gotta be some enemies I left behind, right? So hopefully those things just die down there and the curse is lifted. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, I definitely, if you're in high school and considering doing art, learn multiple disciplines. Don't try and just fall back on one discipline. I think your portfolio is pretty important as well. I didn't have a very good portfolio. But that's because I only really did graphic design and drawing in high school, so. I did some photography as well. Nothing stellar, though. And obviously I had some YouTube stuff, but I'm not going to put that in my portfolio for college. Because A, it was garbage, and B, it was, you know, I don't think at the time that really would have been, maybe it would have been acceptable if I had had like a decent following, but I didn't, so yeah, I don't know if they would have accepted that. It'd be an interesting experiment though, if I had done that back then. I mean, as I said, I wouldn't have put that on my portfolio because it was honestly garbage. My computer like was not meant to record what I was recording, and my audio quality was just terrible. I just had like some crappy gaming headset. There's a bunch of like white noise in the background. The audio is all, the balancing is just off. You can probably find it if you dig through my channel. It's still there. It's stuff from like 2010, 2009-ish, I think. Maybe some 2011 stuff as well. So up against the Watcher again. My best buddy. My ammo is all stuck in him. I didn't think that was gonna hit me. I think my damage is decently spread out here. It probably could be slightly better. Yeah, I think that one was a little healthier than the rest. I don't actually know if they regenerate HP between phases or not. Oh, him coming down here was quite good for me, actually, because I got the poison from the biters and then the bleed from the meat grinder. And by no means am I saying, by saying my old stuff was bad, am I saying this is any good. I'm just saying it's significantly better than what I used to make. Which was just like random garbage WoW videos and some Magicka playthrough. Back when that was a popular thing. I'm not even really hitting here. Put that down. Get some bleeds out. I don't think these are very evenly distributed like I would like them to be, but they're better than nothing at the moment. Replace my meat grinder. That was bad damage right there. Yeah, this one tentacle has way more HP than the other one. And I'm taking way too much damage right now. Alright, we need a drink. My ammo is stuck in that enemy. Yes, you are correct. Ah, there's no way that was gonna land. Neither was that. I think I should probably just play this close to the ground. Hold on, I gotta wipe my hands, man. This fight makes me so sweaty. Because of stupid stuff like that. Jeez. Give me a red attack, please. Stop greening me, please. Thank you. Wow, he just baited me. That was professional right there. What he just did. Ow. That was like high tier. That was great, man. Sorry, I'm a little focused at the moment. I hate this boss in case you haven't ever seen an episode of this series before. This boss is the bane of my existence. And not even like the Batman bane, just like not a well-acted bane or something, I guess. Alright, I need a drink. A little sippy sip. Oh, hello. If I could avoid the bombardment phase, that would be swell. He's got a little bit of poison on him, which is nice. A little payback for all the poison he gives me. I hate these phases. Ooh, I'm gonna take damage here. Yep. I saw that one coming like a mile away. I do have one more drink though, and we're probably going to get to a phase where I can start hitting him a lot. Shoot. Don't take damage from that. That's supposed to be the easy attack to avoid. I think I keep putting myself in a corner over here. I think that might be one of my main issues on this fight. Is I keep kind of forcing myself into a corner badly. Like in an unproductive manner. Alright, come on. I got this. Easy. Easy, right. There we go. Perfect. Hold B to pass, please. Alright, Watcher, I'm starting to get consistent with him. I'm starting to get the patterns. I think it's really the tentacle phase that is the worst part. Alright, Mr. Collector. We're almost there. We're like a third of the way there. I think that starts at 600. So we're going to go to the graveyard. Did I already mess up? I think I may have already messed up. I think I took the wrong entrance. I took the wrong entrance. Well, we'll see the Slumbering Sanctuary again. That's fine. We have seen the graveyard before. We haven't seen the Slumbering Sanctuary but like twice, and one time we just kind of sped through it. So I don't know if you need to wake everything up all the time. It's vapey boy. Absolutely detest those guys. Come back. I'll just let that stuff down there do its work. Work its magic, if you will. So I have fought these guys a decent amount before, so I kind of know what they're up to. And obviously I fought the green guys, so they're just the basic enemies. It's the weird legless guys that have the ranged attacks that give me all the issues, I think. So yeah, we do have to power stuff. This is an interesting little area. Does this really... What am I doing? It seems much easier on the way back. That was quite a waste of time. I thought that would maybe... Ah, man, more doors. So you gotta, like, power the stuff on. It's a pretty cool mechanic, and then all the, like, the statues in the background come to life. It's pretty cool. I dig it. These things. I, like, have no idea how to deal with them. Outside of apparently spamming arrows. They hit so hard. I'm gonna drop some rocks on these guys. Yeah, like that statue right there will wake up. Oh, I put those guys in the wrong place. He may just die to bleeds. I like that my biters are going over there to, like, attack boxes. Like, yes, I sent you down here to hit some boxes. Thank you, biters. Well, there's an elite version of that guy? Well, it's gonna be rough, but we will give it a try. Can you actually even teleport up here? He cannot. I don't believe. So I should be able to cheese him like this. Very slowly. Very, very slowly. But hey, that's what I'm all about, is the cheese. I actually do really like cheese. Okay, so now he's going to teleport after me. So I think that the teleporting is just part of their normal AI? Am I correct in assuming this? Okay, we killed him. What does this have? +2 tactics, 20% damage reduction. You can jump 3 times. Damage from projectiles reduced by 75. That's all you had to tell me. I do not like projectile enemies. That was actually awful. Wow. Like, that's actually so bad, I can't believe it happened. This was a bad idea. Yeah, I'm just gonna avoid you guys. Do I really want to fight another elite enemy? Not particularly. So now, just kind of to satisfy myself, I'm going to prove that I can beat those guys without cheesing them. So there you go. There's me beating them without cheesing. There's an invisible guy somewhere. Down there. I know that there's a green guy right here. I can't see, but there's definitely something moving right there. It's one of those guys. Apparently there's other people down here as well. So like this statue right behind me will wake up when we awaken the sanctuary. Unslumber the sanctuary, I guess? I don't really know. I'm gonna avoid these projectile guys, because they're quite a pain. I don't think this is... yeah, that's not the right way. That's the button right there. That little blue, teal, cyan color thing on the map right now. This boy right here. So we activate this and the sanctuary wakes up. It is no longer slumbering. Which I think changes the enemy. Like, this guy wakes up and I think the other enemies just go away. No, the other enemies are still here. Oddly enough. So I guess not killing them is probably detrimental, yeah. It seems pretty detrimental. They seem to almost wake up, like... the wake up seems to be tied to you moving near them? Which is interesting. I have never actually faced, holy crap, one of those guys without cheesing, so I'm gonna... He did just teleport me up to him. I do believe he did. That's interesting. I would not have seen that one coming. That's for sure. Yeah, I like all the new areas. They're pretty inventive. This one is nice because you kind of see what's coming before it actually spawns, because you can see the statues in the background. And obviously, if you don't know the gimmick, like, you don't really know that that's going to happen, but once you know the gimmick, you can kind of plan ahead and be like, okay, there's this guy here and that guy there. Plus 100 damage and plus 1 tactics, sure. And it does reuse some of the older enemies, which is nice. Always good to have some reason to bring those guys back. I'm gonna keep taking brutality, I guess. Although it does bring back these guys, which I absolutely detest. I hate those guys with a passion. And these big guys are just a pain. Whoa! Oh my goodness. That is quite a stun. Wow. So I think this place only goes to Forgotten Word that I'm not really going to bother with because I don't think I can pronounce it properly. I feel like I'm missing something over here. In fact, I can almost guarantee it, but why is there no teleporters? The teleporters are so scarce here. My goodness. Maybe it's to force you to backtrack through all the enemies that you are awakening? That's what it seems to be. That's the only real reason I can think of to justify a lack of teleporters. Is to force you to go back through all the stuff that you've woken up. I'm going to avoid some of these rooms, however, because some of these things are not really worth dealing with. Like, what's over here? I never checked for some reason. Just kind of a big open area. Oh, okay. I guess he really doesn't like being chased. Oh, I just took that punch right on the chin, and that thing hurts. Alright, so there are scrolls in here, which means it is worth exploring a bit. Let's start getting some points in health, I think. Like, maybe I want to go full on brutality, but knowing that I'm coming up to Forgotten, is what I'm going to call it from now on, with those little assassin guys, like the ninja boys, I'm going to get absolutely just demolished. I could get like a really good weapon, or parry weapon, though. Shield, I believe is what they're typically called. Yeah, cursed sword, exactly what I need. Enemies burn when they die, shots pierce. I mean, it's good, but I'm looking for something a little bit better. How much more damage is that? 400-ish? Okay. That seems like a really good bow. I don't know that I need this extra weapon here, because I don't, well, I guess, yeah, I think I'm just going to keep my gold for the next run. I don't think I'm going to go all in on this run just yet. I really wish I could see a little bit more of what I'm walking into. I've apparently pulled an elite mob without really noticing it. which is kind of the problem with some of those random drops. Minus 2 tactics. Plus 2 tactics, damage. Okay, so this looks almost exactly the same, except I release a toxic cloud when I take damage, as opposed to a reduction in projectile damage. I'm gonna stick with the reduction in projectile. That actually gives me enough gold to possibly consider the shop. Let's go fight the cheese-proof guy. And proceed to basically cheese him. I just heard something like unlock. Oh, it's the sound of these guys waking up. Okay. Wait, what? Is my map inaccurate? My map is not inaccurate, I just can't read properly. I can go directly to the clock tower. So it's clock tower or the other area, huh? I'm thinking I'm gonna go clock tower because I have less idea of how it functions, and I'd like to get more idea of how it functions. A cursed chest. That's a good joke though. I like that. It's a funny joke. I do want to know what's back here. Although I kind of feel like I'm kind of burning through time, but I don't really know what I'm in a rush to do. Besides, you know, beat these levels that I haven't seen very much of. And get some progress. Maybe I can even get some blueprints. That's actually just a teleporter. Nifty. So this area seems like really small comparative to all the other ones. And the teleporters are extremely infrequent, which is obnoxious. I'm gonna go clock tower, but I want to check the shop because I have 51,000 gold and I only maintain like 15,000 when I die. So let's see what we can get here. Spiteful might be good. That's a very good KO shield. I would prefer a force shield though, I think. Which is none of these. I'm actually out of rerolls. I did not know that was possible. I think I'll take the blood sword. Yeah, I'll take the blood sword. I didn't know it was possible to run out of rerolls. I thought that gold was kind of the limiting factor there. But I guess in addition to gold being a limiting factor, they also wanted to limit your amount of rerolls for some reason. Alright, so onwards to probably one of my favorite areas at this point in the game, the clock tower. And then we'll have to go to the clock room, which I believe is the boss fight. And then I think there's something after that, but it might just be an end. It might just be a dead end that says, you know, I've seen pictures of it. It's just like a dock that says like no progress further. And this place just looks so good. Aesthetically. Oh, it does have those annoying guys though. And I'm actually gonna have to go that direction. I do not have a shield. Why am I trying to parry? What am I actually doing at the moment? Dying? Is that what I'm doing? Am I just throwing this run away? For no good reason? That seems to be what I'm doing. Would you please just get into range so I can hit you? You've actually wasted so much of my time. Oh crap, these guys. These are the teleporty boys I was worried about. So I've got a lot of affixed stuff that I can kind of rely on here. Ow. Or I could not rely on it and actually just die. Man, this place is rough. I really wish I had a shield to parry these guys. I think not buying a shield was an absolute mistake. Yeah, not buying a shield was a huge mistake. Oof. Man, this is rough, for sure. Apologies for the dog. I'm gonna get pinned in here and die. Dodge it. Well, okay, get up here and just grab the scroll. Grab survival. Oh no, this is a dead end. There's so many assassin boys in here. I think this is the end for me. Yep. Okay. Well, thank you for watching. I'm glad I can sort of consistently make it to the clock tower now. That should put us in good stead from here and make it so these aren't just me dying in the same place over and over again. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy it, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment with what areas you would like to see, if there's any secrets I'm missing, anything like that. Anything like that. Hopefully they put the alpha branch stuff with the scroll rework on beta soon-ish. I think it's a little buggy still. And by a little buggy, I mean it's extremely buggy still. But hopefully they put it on soon. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy it, feel free to subscribe as well. I will see you in the next episode. Goodbye.